Hello guys, it's Jen and I am here to talk to you today about Diastasis Recti. We discussed this in class this week and I just wanted to give a little bit of an idea of Diastasis Recti. Now, there's a few different names: Diastasis, Diastasis Recti, whatever, ab separation, a few different names. Doesn't really matter what the name is, but here's what it is, okay? When we are in normal life, not pregnant, we have abs that come here, and there's a connective tissue that comes right in between them, kind of ties them together. During the pregnancy, of course, our belly is growing, and we have a lot of tension on that connective tissue. Sometimes in our pregnancy or postpartum, that connective tissue can pull away, pull apart. All right, so nothing to be alarmed of, nothing to be scared of. You can still work out when you have diastasis recti or whatever, when you have that separation. You can still work out. You just want to be mindful of the exercises that you're doing. Okay, so some exercises are actually, you can do more harm than good by doing them. So if, for example, you had that ab separation and you were doing 1,000 sit-ups or 1,000 crunches, that would be not a good idea to do. Sometimes also push-ups and planks can put extra pressure on the belly, on the connective tissue that we don't want, okay? So it's just being mindful and being aware of if we have it, yes or no, and then what we can do to start getting better, start healing, and how to go about daily life. Okay, so diastasis recti or ab separation is a symptom of potentially a larger issue. So it's not a disease or anything like that that we want to be really worried about, but it's something to keep in mind. And if you have other symptoms, then I would probably suggest going to see a pelvic floor physiotherapist just to see if there's anything bigger that is going on that you want to have checked out. Okay, so some of the other symptoms that I would be maybe a little bit concerned about is if you have constant low back pain, if there's any sort of pelvic floor dysfunction like peeing if you cough, sneeze, or jump, and then if there's any doming of the belly when you are doing crunches or leaning forward, or sometimes if you're in a plank and you see the belly kind of coming like this into a dome, that would be potential to speak to somebody. And just these alone, not so much, but when a bunch of them are grouped together, or a few of them are grouped together, then it could mean that something bigger is going on. The last one I would say is if you just have a general feeling of weakness in your belly. Okay, so what I mean is if you were to come into all fours and it feels like your belly's falling out, or that you can't keep your belly drawing in here. Okay, if you have a general feeling of weakness in your belly, then yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, so, and then of course there's also like pelvic organ prolapse or POP, that if you feel like a heaviness or like a low grade pain or discomfort down there, then that would be, of course, yes, go see a pelvic floor physiotherapist. All right, so I'm going to get down on the floor. Basically, this is how we are checking. We're checking for two things. We are checking for how deep our fingers can go in, so the depth, and then also how many of our fingers can fit. Okay, so I'm going to get down on the floor and start showing you guys. All right, so here is the position that you want to be in, just like you're going to get ready to do some crunches. Your feet are hip width apart, relaxed on the floor. We are coming down, lying down here. We're going to have our hand, I'm going to pull up my shirt here so you can get a good look. Basically, there's three places to look, okay? So one is going to be right in, we're going to start right in the belly button. So fingers are going right into the belly button. And we want to measure this way here, okay? So you're going to, instead of, we don't want to measure this way, we want to measure away from where the gap is. We want to see how deep it is, how wide apart the gap is, okay? So putting your fingers into your belly button. I know it can be a little gross. It can feel a little gross here or just weird if you're kind of squeamish with some of those things. So don't worry here. We're going to have our hand on our head. We're going to gently rise our shoulders up off the floor. Not like we're doing a full crunch or anything. You don't want to get into that crunched position. We just want to gently rise the shoulders off the floor. Having those fingers this way across the belly, and then just pushing those fingers in, seeing if you can feel anything. So right now, currently, I have a 2-finger gap. That's pretty normal. Anything bigger than 2 to 3 fingers, anything bigger than 2.5 to 3 fingers, probably something that you want to potentially have checked out. Or feel free to ask me if you're not sure. All right, so that's normal. It is normal to have a little bit of a gap, okay? But if it's 3, 4, 5 fingers wide, then that's not so good, okay? So mine was 2 fingers just like this, and that's normal, okay? So then you're going to go up above the belly button, okay? And you'll feel, especially when the shoulders are up off the floor, if you need to rest down on the floor, that's totally fine. But if you bring those fingers above the belly button, you will feel there's not really a gap in there for myself, all right? But if, again, you feel 1, 2, 3 fingers, talk to me, talk to somebody, and just let's find out if that's normal or not. It is normal to have a small gap there, all right? So, and then the last measurement we're going to do is below, all right? So below the belly button, just a few fingers. Hopefully you can get a good view here of where my fingers are. And then again, just checking there, okay? So the 2 things that we want to check is the depth. The depth, is it a deep? Can you press your fingers way down into your belly? And how far down? If you feel that you're going down like until your middle knuckle, or not your first knuckle here, but your second knuckle, then maybe that's pretty deep, okay? So we just want to be careful of how deep we are there, and then also how many fingers wide, okay? So again, we are coming into this way, so we're measuring this way and not this way, okay? So try it out for yourself. I know the first time I tried it, I was just squeamish. It made me feel dizzy. It was kind of weird, but now I've done it so many times. I've checked other people and stuff, so if you take a class with me, then, and you want me to check you, then I can definitely, and yeah. If you find something and you're not really sure, I can definitely check you, or I can talk you through it, and then also there are some great resources around, especially if you're in the Muskoka area. We have some really great pelvic floor physiotherapists that help women with these types of things. So if you are looking for a referral, just let me know and I will give you my best contacts for that. Okay? Hope you enjoyed this video and I will talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.